Recording in progress.
And we're off, boys, and we're off.
Welcome back to episode number 2 of the Potty Waddy podcast.
It's the fucking worst intro ever.
Brought to you with your hosts.
We're gonna have to. You have to stick with it every week now.
You need to have Joe. You need to make an intro.
What, like a hit a button and it just?
Yeah, but it has to be.
No. Like you need to say, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button.
Follow, hit that bell. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Hit my bell.
Yeah.
I'll get a little fucking bell.
Get a Manscaped sponsor.
No, I might just buy a Manscaped.
You're right.
Just be like, look how amazing this is.
There's something different about you. I don't know if it's like your forehead, your eyebrows,
He's had his haircut.
hairline.
No, I cut all the side of my hair off, and now I look like an absolute gypsy.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah.
You know, like from has anyone watched Last Kingdom?
Yeah, you look like you'd be some sort of like Scandi
You know, like Uhtred.
villager.
Uhtred, son of Uhtred. I'm Joe, son of Joe. I'm from Norfolk.
Joe, son of I work for my daddy.
Yeah.
So, more importantly, guys, how's your week been?
Long.
Well, just before this, we were talking about how you've lost 5 kilos, so I imagine it can't be.
Yeah. I've just been crazy busy. Everyone's always busy, but yeah, I've been busy.
That's not the reason you've lost 5 kilos though.
No, you said, how's my week been? And I said, right, okay.
So
busy, I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah, I literally don't have time to eat, train.
Obviously, dropped 5 kilos because man's going away soon, and it just fell in line with tidying up before I then start to push on, which is fantastic. Which is welcome. Do you know what? I've still got no appetite. Like,
dude,
mate,
I fucking don't.
No, I know, and I can wait until like 10:30 before I'm ready to have my first meal sometimes. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm even having that just because I need to start eating.
Yeah,
I'd leave it, but yeah, busy.
Just using the magical intermittent fasting, then because it's just glorious
I mean?
for everything.
Great.
And like I was saying to Joe before we start recording, I have some big news, right?
Oh, here it is.
Coming out.
Yeah. Beth is transitioning and I'm no,
imagine that if 2 couples transitioned.
I handed my notice in.
Did you?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Fucking yes, man. Good for you. Yeah, that's fucking sick, man. Holy shit. Dude,
Yeah,
we're literally speaking about this.
All right.
And I was like, take the fucking time.
Yeah. It was
oh, daddy.
I had in my head where I wanted to be before I was then financially okay with handing it in.
Oh, mate.
And within the last few weeks, I don't know, it picked up massively. Yeah, and the stars aligned, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? It's now. And
so for people that don't know, what was it you were doing?
I was quantity surveyor in construction, which is it's boring. It's a lot of numbers. Joe, do you work with QSs, or are you just?
No, well, fortunately, I've not had to.
Yeah. Basically, everyone in construction hates you, but it was more so for like 20 million pound projects that there's it's just so much fucking
stress
that comes with it as well.
Yeah.
And trying to push the coaching things on the side of that, it was like it's just hard, man. It was really hard.
Like every QS I've ever known, like, is just 24-hour just stressed about everything, because it's like one little fuck up doesn't necessarily cost you anything, but it can cost a client like
absolutely
tens of thousands, if not more. And it's like, okay, it's just
absolutely.
It's not your money to sort of fuck up with. Like, if you fuck up on your own money, you can just be like, okay, I fucked up. If you lose it for someone else, then it's like, fuck.
You're essentially paid to manage and forecast the money. So
yeah,
there's a big team. There's a big team of us, loads of us. There's loads of projects and whatnot. But even that, with the commute, like, I don't work from home. I don't work from an office. I work from site.
Yeah,
there's a minimum an hour drive wherever I am. Do you know what I mean? That's a minimum as well, each way, and it's just shit, mate. It's shit. It catches up.
Especially with stuff like that as well, is if you're working from site, even if you're working out of like an office on site, you still not got really somewhere to sort food out. So it's like you have to take everything for the day with you. And if you're lucky, you can chuck it in a fridge or a microwave. If not, it's like, okay, that is what it is.
Yeah, I think the 4.5 years I've been there, I've just lived out of my meal prep bag 24/7. Yeah, and it's not until you look back and you're like, do you know what? Like, they played that was shit. It was actually quite shit. But,
you become accustomed to it, don't you? It becomes so normal that
it's just yeah, literally. Yeah, so exciting, very, very exciting. What was it? I was trying to. I remember that working with lads in construction, like site managers and whatnot. I was explaining to them, I'd handed my notice in to some of the lads. I said, I'm going to pursue the coaching full time and whatnot. And then one of the lads I was talking to was like, so it's like your thing, you're just going to go and compete now. You're just going to go and step like competitive bodybuilding. I was like, I couldn't even be bothered to explain what online coaching was. So I was just like, yeah, essentially, mate. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. The amount of times I have a conversation with someone and they're like, oh, so you do like coaching on the side? And I'm like, yeah, just like online.
Well, how many times have you had it when it's like the blurred lines between a coach and a PT and they merge into one people?
Yeah. But it's also then becomes the same thing of like, oh yeah, I do a bit of like fitness as well. Like I brought some shit, like some pasta with me this morning. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And I'm like, what else have you eaten today? And they're like, bread. And I'm like, anything else than bread. Yeah. Like people just don't have a clue of what. And as soon as someone mentions fitness or coaching or anything, they just like.
So like what you eat like the same like so like now you're not competing, like you just eat what you want.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Oh, what did I have? They said are you competing this year? And I was like, no, back end of next year, likely.
Getting fat?
So you just took like a year off for training and...
Yeah. Mate, so the best one I had was when I was on prep and it was like the last couple weeks and I was absolutely fucked. And I was like, I've not eaten, like, it was like practically a zero carb day. And I was like, I've eaten fuck all. I feel like shit, I've got no energy. And they were like, just eat a banana. And I'm like, but that's, like, I can't. And they're like, yeah, but that's healthy. I'm like, yeah, okay, a banana is like branded as healthy, but that is 27 carbs. Like I can't just pick up a banana. And they're like, well, just have an apple then. And I'm like, it's just literally the exact same thing. Like, yeah, it's fair enough. People don't understand, but sometimes it's just like those little things don't click.
I had one of my boys earlier actually on a check-in. He won't mind me talking about this. I won't name him, but he was just started like essentially his diet phase. And he was like, oh, I've just been so hungry, mate, when I've been at work. So I've just been having a couple of rice cakes here and there. They're the only thing I can find that are like low calorie, whatnot, low carb.
Mate.
And, yeah.
What did you say? I would have fucking went through it, man.
I probably went off on a tangent for like 10 minutes talking about there's reasons as to why I haven't actually included them rice cakes in the plan. And
yeah, no.
Yeah. Mate, we all get fucking random stories like that though, of like just the most pointless things. And then you'll also then get like the polar opposite of someone being like, so I've been having like a cup of tea like every morning or something, and it's got sugar in it. Is that okay? It's like, if you're having a cup of tea with a sugar in it every single morning, I'll let it slide, don't worry. And then there's other people like, oh yeah, the weekend I had an off-plan meal of a 20-inch pizza, some chips, some cookies, some garlic bread, some doner meat, and
what's crap you, Tay? Busy boy?
Yeah, man, we fucking mental recently. Just constant.
I think you tell people why you're grafting so hard at the minute.
So man, trying to get a house, man. I'm trying to get a house. Pretty much got like everything there. I need to do my end of year tax return for this year. But once that's done, send it to the mortgage advisor, and we've just been like looking at houses pretty much, man. So pardon?
You have an accountant?
Joe's mum. So my missus'
mum. Really?
Mate, oh mate, she's fucking shit hot.
Really?
Yeah. What is she like as an accountant?
She's like
look at you. Stepmom.
That's my girl.
Okay, not even my stepmom. Fuck. Anyway, yeah, no.
That's a weird fantasy.
Mother-in-law. No. God, what have I done? Shut their mouth. So anyway, yeah, it's good, man. So I'm going to do that tomorrow with her, get everything sent away. It's basically just like fingers crossed. I'll like to have to send a couple of things back and forth, but as soon as I've got that, it's a case of just finding something. But the market right now is like ridiculous, man. Like one thing's on for like a second, then it's just fucking off. Man. I don't know what it's like where you guys are, but like, yeah, man, it's just a nightmare, dude. It's a nightmare. And then like the cost as well is like for what you could have got. Because I was literally seeing my godmother today, and they were saying, okay, that we got this house for what was 170 grand. It's now valued at like 300.
Really?
That was 8 years ago.
Fuck.
And I'm like,
it's
fuck.
It's sickening when you look at.
And you stay right in the area where you are, or what?
Nah, I'm moving away, man. Because I'm not training at Body Academy anymore. There's no need for me
Right,
to.
the sticks on you.
And yeah, and to be totally honest with you, man, it's I've been there like the past few weeks now, man, and the environment's so much better for me, man. The lads are around are fucking massive, and I'm just like a little boy again. And it's like the sessions that I've had. Yeah, man, the session that I've had, like, so I went through a spell of, say, before this kind of like reset and maintenance phase, where training was fucking flying. Every session I went in feeling top dollar, mate, feeling really good. And it's been the exact same here, you know, like it's almost like there'll be a couple of boys in the gym that are just fucking freaks, and I'll just clock them, and it's just like, okay, like you got to take it up a fucking gear, man. They're older than me, of course, but get to that level where I'm able, and I'm you know, I'm without like yeah, I want to be able to hold my own and beat them, you know, and like I don't care what rate they're progressing, because I know that I can step up a notch, I know that I can train harder, I know I can be smarter, I know I can cover all the bases that they can.
What's the saying? Like if you're the smartest person in the room, find another room.
Yeah, it's something like that, man.
You're the biggest person in the room, go get in another room, go get out of that room.
Yeah, man. And you know what? Just the environment's like a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Like I think as of late, I've been like evaluating like my fucking circle, and I had a conversation with my dad the other day about like just my dad's kind of fucking airy fairy. Like he's like, my dad is like super business driven, right? But he's like in the same breath, he's like, you have to look for signs, you have to get a feeling off of people. And like I never really listened to it, but like upon reflection, every single time I've had a funny feeling about someone, it's like fucking bit me in the ass, or something's happening, you know, and like I don't need that. I don't want that. Like I'm trying to be like super busy with coaching, a really good bodybuilder, and everything seeps in. And as soon as this little stress comes in, it just fucking nibbles away at you. You know, if I see someone that I know I'm not really on good terms with, or I don't have a really good relationship with, like that's something that can potentially get in there. And it's not a situation I'm willing to open myself up to anymore. I think that the past few years I've matured so much, but there's still so much to learn. I think that just almost like the penny dropped, you know, and I'm so lucky to obviously have you lads. I've got a group of my mates here. We all stay in like different cities, man, different towns, but like, you know, because obviously all got like Instagram, WhatsApp, all that sort of stuff, you know, I can phone them, I can talk to them, and like it just makes you want to almost like cultivate your actual mates and just make sure everyone's good, and with, for lack of like, just not waste time with people that
are not conducive.
Yeah, man. It's just not even that. It's just like you know there and then whether or not you want something to be, you know, you want to keep talking to someone. Like, dude, like I fucking met you. I met both of you guys at a show, and that was you know, pretty much 7-8 months ago, and we're still chatting. You know, I was probably chatting to you more after the show, Joe, but like Billy, you and me chatted. It's going to be so funny in like years, because you and me have got a picture in Five Guys.
Oh no.
Friends. Hi guys, and it's going to be class in like a few years to come to have that, because I guarantee we'll still be mates. And it's stuff like that, man. I'm just like, I think the past few weeks have just been quite eye-opening, like from not training that gym, from having everything super cushy to then having to travel an hour. It's like I've been quite under a little bit of pressure and stress, and I'm trying to just fucking block all that shit out, man. I'm just like, get that fuck away from me, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, even like restricting people on Instagram, like people that are just like don't even want to see. I'm like, just get away, man.
Yeah. I'd say I'm probably where you are. I feel I've been like that for a long time. I'm probably really hard to I've already come across really antisocial to my friends that I used to have at school and still live around the same area, because I don't, when I get the invites, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go get in a pub. I don't want to go and do that. That's what I meant when I say it's non-conducive. It's non-conducive to me and where I want to go. Do you know what I mean? Regardless of sitting down and spending the time socializing, if it doesn't bring me anything, any value, I'm very easy to just cut it completely.
Yeah. I think I just need to take that, man.
Yeah.
Because waste so much time, so many years. You know, it's
When
like
you said cultivate it, that's like spot on.
yeah, man.
Like,
It's so fucking long, man. And I thought that even in a sport such as this, which is a relative niche, that everyone will be on the same fucking page. Yeah. But the reality is like bitches be bitching, man. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they fucking will. And it's like shit. No matter if you're in the fucking, if you're in your job or you're on the site, you know what I mean? I'm in the gym. It's always gonna be fucking something, man. It's like you'd think that these kind of like things would pass and people would mature, but there's always someone, and people don't like seeing you do well, man. Like that's something that I've started to realize. No. You fucking don't. You know what I mean?
You know what? The people that often want to see you do well are the people sometimes who you wouldn't even expect it from. No. Or the people you don't think are your closest are often the people that have actually got your best interest. Do you know what I mean? And it's weird thinking that. It's weird thinking that.
But I think it's just people in a nutshell, isn't it? Like too many fucking two-faced folk about it.
It's just crazy that like I thought it was very much like a small town mindset, but hearing you boys say about it as well, it's obviously just everywhere. But like where obviously I'm from, it's obviously a lot smaller. And like with my gym, for example, they were saying to me while I was on prep that I wasn't allowed to pose in the gym. I had to do it like in the changing room or locked away where no one could see, because it was intimidating and putting people off, like other people off in the gym. And then I'd get like videos from my clients posing in the gym, and I'm like, why am I not allowed to, but everyone else is? And like the more I learned, it was just basically because I had online clients and they were like, well, we want a cut of what you're making because you've picked them up through this gym. And I'm like, it's like, it doesn't, like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. It's like,
you pick up your online clients.
I have a story about this actually, and it still fucking blows my mind now. So I was like, after lockdown, I picked up a lot of clients throughout lockdown. Thankfully, it was lockdown when I went full time online. Okay, so I was actually really came out well lockdown. So after that, all my clients, I can't wait to come and train, can't wait to come and meet you, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, look, come on through to my gym. We'll just get like a buddy up session. Like we'll just train together. So the first week, I had like 3 people come. They were doing my session anyway. And I'd heard there was some chitter chatter about someone going back and forth saying, oh, it's tailor-made PT and people and not, you know, claiming any money to the gym or whatever. Bear in mind that I was just coming in doing my session. You know, everyone, you'll have both done it, right? Like one of your clients just came in to see you. Fair enough, maybe the time frame, having a few come in the first 2-3 weeks of the gym's opening, but like they're doing my fucking session. Okay. And there was like chat going about, and I ended up speaking to the owner, and she was like, yeah, well, you know, I was like, I just want to clarify things, like, yo, like there's no financial gain for me here. I'm not coming and PTing. I want to PT here, obviously the opportunity is there, but to be honest with you, we're just throughout lockdown and my clients want to come and see me, and I'm more than happy for them to jump in and do my sessions. I'm not, like I said, charging them or anything. And she was like this, well, you kind of are. And I was like, sorry, what? I was like, I can show you my inquiry pack, which details the service, which details the cost, and you'll see that there's actually nothing to do with any transaction being incurred from any one-to-one PT. And she said, oh, well, you know, they're kind of your clients, so like, you know, just because they are paying you with online coaching, you know, you kind of are getting the benefit. And I was like, are you fucking smoking crack? Like,
just go through the gym and everyone with a training partner be like, well, they're PTing, they're PTing.
I was like, honestly, I had to bite my tongue. I was like, and it kept going back and forth. I was like, but there really isn't any financial gain for me. Like, my bread and butter is not online. Like they're just coming to see me. There's no difference to me training with a mate. She's like, oh well, it kind of is because you are benefiting indirectly financially from it. And I was like, I can't fucking do this. And for me, that should have been a big fucking red flag, man.
Yeah. It's just like if they're coming in.
Am I wrong there?
My thing was going to be, how the fuck did she know that they were your online clients?
Oh, because one of the boys in the gym was said it's probably man.
Oh.
1000%. It's the same shit, man. And they've probably watched this.
I hate that shit, man.
No, that was
like, did they come from a different gym?
Yeah,
so
man.
The gym is still benefiting
Absolutely,
from
mate.
that transaction anyway.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So what I said to him, I was like, look, I'd set a limit on it. I was like, well, I discussed, I was like, is there a possible limit I can do? She's like, oh, I'm not going to set a limit, but just watch. And I'm like, bear in mind that people would travel an hour and a half. One of our clients even traveled 2 hours to come and see me. And it's like, fuck me, man.
My is really good, man. He's his setup with PT and stuff is like, he doesn't want a cut or percentage or anything like that. All he says is, listen, as long as everyone has paid to get into the gym, be it
that's great, man.
Clients purchase a day pass, whatever, like crack on. As long as you've got insurance, then I don't give a fuck. Like, go.
As long as it doesn't cost him if something goes wrong, then essentially it doesn't make a difference.
Like, you're bringing the gym business, like you're basically bringing business to the gym, and it's just that's just a case of being a greedy cunt, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no need for that shit. There's no need for that shit. She could have played that really smart and been like, yeah, keep bringing him in, like, feel free, and that would have just guaranteed a little bit more business, etc. But yeah, absolute dickheads, mate.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I'll tell you guys another story, but I'll wait till it's off. It's funny.
Well, in that case, I actually did get a good question, which I thought we could.
Mate, I had so many questions. I lost them all.
I got a screenshot. Mate.
I've got good ones as well, man.
Yeah. So
the
one that was cracking me up a little bit, because this was like my cardio debate for half an hour this morning, was, what's the biggest animal you think you could kill one-on-one with your bare hands?
Fuck, man.
I've been watching this fucking Barack Obama animal series on Netflix, right? Me and Beth. Is it
good?
It's weird. Hey, I thought
voice is so good,
like a llama, right? I was thinking, yeah, like a llama. You could take a llama. No,
man.
Mate, I don't know what the fuck I could take, but
even an ostrich, man.
No chance, man.
Yeah, man. There's a bird. I don't know what it is.
It's like 7 foot.
It goes on its like one leg. It kind of looks like an ostrich, an emu maybe. But
yeah,
it has like massive punches, and then they go this with the claws. It's like
yeah.
It's got what's that, dodgeball?
Oh yeah, the GoPros. Yeah, man, ridiculous. Yeah, no.
Even if you think like, if you just stand there and punch, like, if you was to just punch a hippo in the head, that's not even punch the hippo, mate.
Yeah. This is how my thinking was going this morning. Essentially, you've got to
kill it, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a fight to the death, bare hands, biggest animal.
The animal is fighting back as well.
Yeah. It's not just it's not like a punching challenge.
If humans didn't have like the cognitive advantage with a brain, we would be fucked.
Yeah, and that's what I was doing, because so this is where my thought is. I think you could take an alligator. Now, here's my thinking. Okay, is you just run until you find something to climb up at.
Oh, that's not it. No,
okay.
Jump on it.
Fine. In an arena, then you run until you get behind it. You jump on it like. You know how they do in like the fucking all the movies where you close its mouth. Yeah, but you're sitting, you're like, hold on for dear life. It can't bite its own back, can it? So hug round.
Hold on to an alligator for dear life when it's rolling you about like a fucking voodoo doll.
Mate, if you're gonna fucking die, you're gonna suddenly get superhuman grip, aren't you?
Come on. An alligator.
No, I think I'd bear hug it, roll around with it a little bit, close its mouth, clamp it with my. I've thought about this.
You know what I mean?
I've spent half an hour on a bike. So this is the logic, because the mouth you can't open, but you can keep closed. So I'd get my legs and like clamp,
Adopt
duck to
shit out
clamp the mouth, and then just like poke the fuck out of its eyes until
Oh my god.
and it's like, you're not going to get through its skin, are you?
But what, are you going to kill it through poking its eyes out?
Yeah, I'll probably cry like a little child while I'm doing it. Like, why? What you just?
I'd have said to sneak up behind it and jump on its back. Like,
No, but that's not okay. It has to be in an arena setting.
yeah, but
Because if that's the case, then you're going to be like, I don't know, jumping off of like a 2-story building, fucking pile drive, like elbow to the back of head of like a gorilla's head.
Even if you do that, you're just going to bounce off the gorilla anyway. I think a gorilla's a write-off. I think a gorilla is just
way too
you get bummed.
Yeah, man. You get fucking bummed, man.
Unless you're like James Hollingshead, you ain't taken.
Even he can take it.
Nah, not in a million years, mate. Not in a million years.
Even just a chimp, like.
Have you seen that video where the chimp like climbs up, and then the human like puts its hand up, and this chimp just goes like, just lifts this guy off the floor?
Yeah, man.
Like, it's fucking mad.
Joe Rogan. Honestly, I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast on chimps. He has like something against chimps. They abduct children. Like,
Oh yeah,
that's crazy shit.
They're vicious, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think us as humans are pretty much fucked. Like we think we're the top of the food chain, but realistically, we're just idiots baffling over stupid shit.
I think we're top of the food chain with our own equipment. You take us out, and we're fucked. Like I can't remember where I heard it, but someone was saying like, as a human race, as a whole, we're extremely intelligent, but singularly, we are so fucking thick. And by this, I mean, as a human race, I can pick my phone up and I can send a message to someone instantly on the other side of the world, all right?
Yeah.
Now, if I put you in the middle of a field with nothing other than a stick and said, send me a text, how many years is it going to take for you to send me a text? Like,
I thought you were going to say how long is it going to take for you to find out where you are? I was like, I'm fucked.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like singly, we're fucking shit.
I don't know. The biggest animal we could kill, maybe a dog. I don't know.
Yeah, but then you've got. Yeah, but could you
killing a dog, man?
That's what like
a wild dog.
Even still.
I feel like I can maybe kill like a cheetah or something like that.
A cheetah?
And you fucking question me with an alligator? What the fuck are you on, man?
Oh, they're totally different. Cheetahs are quite like they're quite big actually. I think I could do. But came at me, it would claw me.
Yeah.
So you're going for like the Homer Simpson theory of like, can you take enough abuse but hand out enough at the same time?
Man.
That it dies first.
Yeah.
Come on, Bill. We've got a cheetah and alligator so far. What are you?
Mate, you boys are fucking ballsy. I'll tell you that. I guarantee if any of you two was in an arena with one of those animals, you'd shit your pants.
Mate, I'm getting absolutely bumped by an alligator.
I'm trying to think. We're probably missing animals out here.
There's probably like a really obvious, because it just says biggest. It doesn't say like most aggressive or scariest. It's just biggest. So surely there's like if we're talking about an arena, could you just say like
otter?
Yeah,
koala.
Oh, koala.
I'm thinking like, could you just do whale and then you just take it out of the water?
No,
it's like
fight in its habitat. How about that?
Oh man, you wouldn't last a second.
That's
fish out then.
You guys ever see that documentary? Is it Whitefish or
White?
Is it the about the orcas?
Yeah. What's it called? Blackfin.
Blackfin.
Yeah. Whitefin. Blackfin.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man, and the orcas that like fucking drag people down.
Yeah. Done it at SeaWorld.
It comes out and her arm is like a fucking roundabout, man, mangled.
Yeah.
How smart they are though, as well. The fact that they were doing like the training session of the day, and the one that fucked it up would then get like scratched and beaten up from the others. Like the fact that they knew which one was fucking up the routine and stuff, like it's fucking mad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look. Keep talking.
So you're really going with a cheetah then, Taylor? You're really going for
maybe a giraffe.
Have you seen them swing their head though?
But I would just run, right? I would run and I would like drop kick their legs one at a time. So I'd smash their kneecaps in.
You're Star Warsing them. You're flying around with a little bit of rope.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll probably get kicked to fuck, but maybe a zebra.
Oh, kangaroo, man.
You get what? Have you seen
the kangaroo?
Have you seen the kangaroo?
Claws? have you seen the video of the guy that actually punches the kangaroo?
Yeah.
It
moves, does it?
Yeah, no, it just punches him and then walks away.
Is it on like a golf course or something?
I think he's got his dog, isn't he? He's got
his dog.
And he just runs over and
He jabs it. Yeah, that was great.
beautiful.
I love that one.
Yeah, probably a zebra.
I think his was not a bad
Maybe a
shout
horse.
because they're not going to. Is it going to fight back?
I would imagine it kicks like a horse a little bit, so I'd go from the front.
Yeah, could you just do the friendly like, here zebra. Yeah.
I feel like you could get on a zebra's back and choke it.
Yeah.
If I'm getting moaned at for jumping on an alligator's back, you're getting moaned at for jumping on a zebra's back.
I'm fighting it.
I still don't think you would kill an alligator, but anyway.
Mate, I'd get absolutely ruined by the thing, but that's just, I spent half an hour on a bike thinking, and that's as good as it got.
Yeah.
Everything else, I then just kept thinking of dogs, and then I just felt really guilty for thinking of killing a dog and just thought I'd probably just die.
See, because I have a dog now, and you'll be the same, Billy. You have a dog, Joe?
I've always had dogs. This flat's the first time I've not had a dog.
Yeah, man. You feel like a scumbag. I don't
100%.
Like, use animals, definitely dogs.
Nah, absolute fuckheads, mate. Absolute fuckheads.
Scumbag.
You've got to think of an animal that a little bit emotionless. What's not an affectionate animal?
Like a raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are kind of cute though. If we were talking about this before,
Vicious, man.
Or like a honey badger.
No, honey badgers are like they're
fucking badass.
vicious,
Mate. They're badass.
Scrap anything, man. I love that one. I love all these documentaries. It's like danger, deadly.
You
Yeah.
obviously from a rugby background, you guys know who the honey badger is, right?
Yeah.
The Australian winger.
The Australian Nick Cummins.
Nick
Yeah.
Cummins.
Have you heard about what happened to him recently? About he got impaled by a bull. Yeah, so
Hey,
this is
Aussies are so fucking
Mate,
loose, aren't they? Like,
this is how fucking
Yeah,
mad
fuck, man.
Aussies are. All right, he's literally talking to the interviewer, and he's just like, "Yeah, so I was out in the field, middle of nowhere. We were just rounding up some bulls. Got them all. I can't do a fucking accent, mate.
Round up some bulls.
Rounding up some bulls, mate."
Went into Borat.
yeah. He's like, they're like rounding up.
the bull.
Never get this.
King of the pen. But he rounded all these bulls up, and he said like they all just stopped and stared at him and they wouldn't move. And he was like, something's not right. And he like turned around and like the big fucking alpha bull or whatever was behind him.
Meanwhile,
And,
it's like
yeah.
this like red like
Yes. And he just got charged by the fucking thing. And he said like the only thing you can do is just curl up and protect like your innards. And apparently it like pierced in through the back, but like came like through him and like ragdolled him around, and he got up and he like ran off, and the bull like ran the
I
other
like
way.
to think you would be able to like at least step the ball or something like that.
He was an international like sevens player. Of course he could. So as a dummy in the
His
lot.
only option was to stand there and get impaled, not try and dodge the thing.
Yeah.
Just hold up into fetal position.
tried to bosh it. He's like,
Run it straight challenge the bull. But yeah, mate boy just got impaled and he got airlifted out like 6 hours away and he's now got like this big old scar in his back where he just got run through by a bull.
that was horrible, man.
I'd cry.
No, they're serious questions as we've just been ripping the piss.
If you want to do one, crack it out, mate.
Okay, so how to get past plateaus and training when ill. So I'm presuming it's how to get past training plateaus or training plateaus when ill. Okay, so this question is worded very poorly. So what I would suggest doing is break it into two. So how to suggest breaking past plateaus, and then how to suggest
What to do when you're ill.
ill. So I feel like
If you are ill, like, and you are varying degrees of illness, but we'll just say you have flu, for example. Yeah, or the shits.
No comment. Yeah, so what I've done this week is
is I've kept training.
Yeah. 100% intensity. I did not bitch.
I did not skip a meal.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Well, I think.
Well, I'd say. Go on.
Are we all on the same page with the sickness thing of realistically leaving reps in reserve, missing the session if you need to miss the session? It's number one focus is getting back to a point where you could beat the log.
Entirely would be if you're ill and you're shitting yourself into oblivion, for example. There is absolutely no benefit, and it is going to be of no. It's not going to be conducive by any means to add further stress onto yourself by going to train, regardless of reps in reserve or whatever. I'd rather that person stay home and prioritize.
Yeah, that's basically exactly the same thing. It's you're resting until you're back at a point where you're normality, healthy, whatever, or as close to that as you can be, and then you implement. Oh, okay, you're coming back to training. Maybe leave a couple reps in reserves. Only maybe do 1 or 2 sets, and then the week after it's like, okay, back to cracking on.
Talking about that, Taylor, before you go, I've had this conversation with a couple. Always when coaches say it, they always go, I've had a conversation lately with a couple of clients, but I've had it back and forth recently with some of the boys who are very close to date of if they're going away or whatever their goal is, and they're absolutely fucked beyond belief. So when I then say potentially look at 4 or 5 day deload or something from training to enable us to keep pushing for the final weeks and whatnot, they're so reluctant to do that because they think probably what we used to be like, if you're not training, you are not progressing.
We've all been there 100%, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's a really hard point to actually get across. I think it is anyway. Now, I don't know if you boys have had it with your own clients.
It's a nightmare.
It's almost. I don't even say it. I don't even see it as taking a step back to go 2 steps forward. But it often is that.
I mean, firstly, people need to understand like how slow progress actually is. Like, we've all been doing this shit for so long that if we missed a week, you wouldn't even fucking tell.
Yep.
If we missed a week of training on prep, you wouldn't even fucking tell.
Yep.
So let's get that straight.
Yep.
I think that it's going to be a case of different strokes for different folks. So I have clients that I would say are more like Gen Pop, okay? And with them, a deload is I'll just say have a few days off. I think 4 days is enough. 3 days, two days isn't enough. 3 days is more. I think 4 to 5 days is perfect. 5 days is a little bit excessive. I like 4 days. Now I will kind of break it down depending, and the chances are that if they're one of my Gen Pop clients, they don't train hard enough. It's my job to try and educate them and get them to be pushing hard enough. But to be honest with you, if I'm not seeing the evidence that they're not pushing hard enough, then I'm not worried about them. What's going to happen when they go back to training 4 days after, because the likelihood is that they're already training with reps in reserve anyway. Now, if I have a client such as the ones that you're maybe discussing, Billy, that are maybe kind of approaching a holiday, or they're just a bit more into it, but they can't seem to see past having time off, then I would like to do what I do with myself, and that's run a devolume. So the primary driver of fatigue is likely going to be frequency and volume. If we can pull back and scale back on those, plus minimizing intensifiers, we're going to get a nice reduction from fatigue. What I would like to do as well is throughout that time, have them running training day food. Now, our 2 recovery tools are always going to be our sleep and our intake. So I would get them to run that for the duration of that, regardless of whether they're training or not, depending if they're absolutely fuckered, on, off for a week. That means that when they come back, depending how they're feeling, I would then start to layer back on the volume in the form of, okay, instead of doing the 1 set, do your 2 set. Depending again how they're feeling and how confident I am, put back the intensifiers. I will always say 1 rep reserve for the first 3 sessions, and after that, I'm pretty much happy for them to crack on. But that's kind of my approach. And I think on the back end of that, I know, just to refer back to the initial point of obviously having time off, if someone is unwell, this is something like I personally don't, I'm not really seeing any other coaches doing it, to be honest with you, but it just makes sense to me. So consider, Joe, you were pissing out your arse for how many days?
1.5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so quite a bit.
Well, I lost 5 kilos in a day and a half.
Yeah, ridiculous. So bear in mind that I don't think it would have been wise for you to go back to the gym the day after you felt recovered, or the day that you felt recovered. I would advise against it. I would have given you an additional day, because understand that throughout that time you'll have been eating piss all, you'll have been drinking piss all. There will have been a severe imbalance, like from an electrolyte standpoint, both of which equate to lesser glycogen stores in the muscle, lesser sodium potassium balance, therefore your sodium potassium pump in terms of muscle fullness, or from a kind of nutrient transportation and hydration standpoint, is going to be affected. And then at that point, if your fluids have been down as well, like you're dehydrated, so like it's a recipe for disaster. So what I would do is, if you're feeling great, that's your day of another day of recovery, and then I'll give yourself one additional day, and then get back to it. So as soon as you feel well, give yourself that day, a day after. And I almost use the day after as like a reset day. Again, at that point, it'd be either, depending on where they're at in their off season, whether or not I'd advise training day food or rest day food.
It's pretty much exactly the same as what I did for what happened for me. So what happened with me was Tuesday, just so everyone knows. So Tuesday, basically gave myself food poisoning. Vomited fucking the lot pretty much all Tuesday night. Couldn't move, literally to the point where I could not move Wednesday morning. And I couldn't get out of bed. Like, I was absolutely right off. I drank something like 8 or 9 liters of water, basically all of which was either with Diarrhea or Lucozade, and went to the toilet once, had one piss with 8 liters of water of intake. And that still came out like treacle. It was like fucking horrible. And the next day I didn't feel too bad. So the next day, I went into the gym more to get out of the house. Yeah. But when I was in the gym, all I did was literally like, just shit on all the equipment. Was like a set of 10 reps with 5 kilo dumbbells. Like literally picked the dumbbell up, put it down, went over, did like lateral raises, kickbacks, chest flies, and then walked out again. I was in there for like literally 10 minutes. I listened to 3 songs. I said hi to someone, and I left again.
What were the songs?
It was Eminem's.
Like laps.
It was Slipknot. It was all heavy metal for fucking 3 minutes.
The let's go out. He's like,
Mate, fucking hell. Saying that, have you guys listened to Eminem's obviously re-released album this week?
No, they're good.
Mate, it's brilliant. It's just classic Eminem. It's just him re-singing the old songs. It's fucking
brilliant.
What is
it? Shit, man. I'm gonna check that out.
Mate, it's good. It literally just type in Eminem on Spotify and it'll come up. But yeah, so got home, ate, and then the next day I went back to normal food. Managed to get basically a full day of eating in, rested, and then the day after that I went back to training with reps in reserve. So again, having that additional day after the day that you feel fine in, just to rest.
Just on that, I've never in my life had a devolume session.
Yeah, man. I used to like want a fucking rest day, but now it's productive because I still train to failure. I used to, so basically what I would do is Kuba said, okay, it was Kuba that started doing it with me, and he said, okay, drop 1 set, do it. So what I did during that time was I did like my 8 to 10s because I always enjoyed it.
Cut you off. It just got to mind. The only time I've done that was when I was like a week, 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Was it?
So yeah, man. So basically like, during that time, I always did my 8 to 10s. I was like, Kuba, man, they're still fucking smashing me. I would never really relay this back to them because, again, like I still enjoy them. But I still felt a little bit fresher, but not as fresh as what I could be. So, for example, when I train legs, like, I can get a lot out of 1 set on everything, and I would be fucking smashed. But what I started doing basically the past, because I basically like said, okay, enough's enough. I can't feel like this after the volume session. I need to be smart. And I went from a 12. I started doing 12 to 15s, and since doing the 12 to 15s, it's been like a game changer. Because I can seriously progress. I can, like, for lack of a better word, I can genuinely touch new weights and PR every single time on that. And I almost think that the positive reinforcement alone is a great fucking boost, man.
You're doing that currently. That's something that you're keeping.
Yeah, I'll keep that. I'm not doing it at the moment. But when I run the devolume, I will do the 12 to 15s because it's a good benchmark. It's a good benchmark because
obviously it's failed to failure. So
yeah, man. Because like, okay, I'm fresh, so let's see what I can do. and you still have to kind of switch on, but you're not finishing a set like, oh my fucking god, man, like, you know, you can kind of regulate it a little bit better, I feel.
I think people who are not experienced get things a little bit convoluted between devolume and then that being convoluted with reps in reserve, and it isn't. That's not the case.
No.
It's the complete opposite. But yeah,
I think there is a lot of misconception just in general with like, this was another question actually that came up as well.
what was he
Huh?
What was he laughing at?
He said there's a lot of misconception in general, and I was like, fucking full stop.
yeah, just end there. That's it. That's the end of the podcast, guys. With like reps in reserve and what true failure is as well.
Yeah.
And that's not a debate I want to get into, because that debate never ends. Yeah, that is like a fucking 2-hour long video of what's failure. Do you allow yourself to drop form? Blah blah blah. Fuck, like whatever.
I think like reps in reserve is something that is there's a very select few people that train that would warrant training with reps in reserve.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is people with experience.
Yeah, and that's the key with, like, I don't think unless you've trained for X amount of years, that you'd even be able to accurately guess what true like RPE of like 8 is, for example.
Yeah, what Taylor said is like, realistically, how many Gen Pop clients are taking themselves to failure? Like, how many times do we see training clips and one of the first things we point out is intensity and taking it a little bit further than where we have. And yeah, that's what I mean by it's for a select few people. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyway,
I have a question off the top of my head, by the way, that I had. If you want to do another question,
go for it, mate.
And it was looking back on your prep last year, which goes for all of us. Is there anything that you would do differently? And it got me thinking, and hand on my heart, without sounding like a dickhead, probably nothing, other than lessons learned in the last few weeks with regards to my condition. But other than that, the whole process was, I don't know, I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's nothing I would look at and go, do you know what, I wish that was like that, or I wish I'd done that like that. It was just jump in and see what happens.
I think with that, I think what we all have the same acceptance of is there's nothing you'd change because the experience was spot on.
Like educating.
Yeah, but you've learned so much from it that if you had to take something from it, I think that's about, like, that'd be an easier way to think of it, is if you could take one thing from this prep that you're going to change next prep, what would it be? Because for me, it would be recognizing that certain drugs do certain things to my body and they need to be tracked like to the T. If not, I'm going to fuck myself up in later stages of prep.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
One thing I would do differently next time.
So for me, it was the combination of train and clean together starts to fuck my sleep. And if that gets to a certain point, then it gets to the back end of last prep where it was like 0 hours sleep. And it was like, that is when my prep went to shit, was from that point. So it's like keeping an eye on that at better case for next prep. So I know that as soon as things start to go wrong, it's like, okay, that's the cause. And then rather than me going, I'm going to take sleeping pills and I'm going to try smoking and I'm going to try X, Y, and Z, like, instead of trying to mask the problem, actually just find the problem and solve it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a tricky question. I'll make next time around.
You boys have a long time as well. You've still got a good year.
Probably duration of my prep I would like to change. I was dieting for 25 weeks total, which was hard for someone who had realistically, I had never realistically been in a diet phase or a prolonged deficit. I was just adamant that I was going to grit my teeth and see it through. But 25 weeks total was, yeah,
Long.
it was tough, yeah, for sure. But
Long, mate. 25 weeks, man.
What condition were you at the
Were you
start?
even that fat to start?
I don't know. Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it was more so, I say dieting for 25 weeks, but realistically, probably only 18 weeks of that was, I say,
Actually, yeah.
tricky. But
Did you have like off-plan meals from the start?
do you know why? When I was talking to Josh about it, and we said a date, for some reason, I stopped having additional meals, off-plan meals about 3 weeks before I actually started, just because I was like, yep, that's it. I'm in full fucking robot mode now, which I wouldn't change. So I'm not massively food focused as it is, but yeah, that's the only thing I'd like to condense down my prep, because I also think that anything longer than, how long did you prep for, Tay?
Like 21.
Really?
Yeah,
I like the idea of condensing things down a little bit. So if you're dieting for a really long period of time, I do see it becoming almost like, because the show date's so far away, you lose that little bit of like
Intensity.
I don't know. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, if you know that you've got 20 plus weeks, you know that, all right, well, I've got 20 plus weeks. I've still got time. And psychologically, you lose that little bit of like, I don't know what the word is.
It's just that fire, that like, okay,
The
like,
buzz, the looking forward to actually competing.
Yeah.
It's
like, it's not passion, but you lose that like really like chomping at the bit kind of thing.
But realistically, I don't think any of us will be dieting for longer than 20 weeks next time around. So, how long are you for?
This prep coming is 20 weeks.
All right.
But potentially the second show might be 24. But once you've got to your first show, it's you're just sitting at maintenance, aren't you?
I don't actually, just for the record, I don't actually give a shit how long I diet for, by the way. It's not like I'm not dieting.
Oh, look at him now. He's backing up. He's back at the ass.
Yeah, imagine. I was talking to him about that 4 week fucking madness that
Leon and
yeah, I mean, he said he's done something similar in the past, and he's like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Yeah, you were saying what? So people that don't know, it's essentially some classic competitor.
Get him up on stage.
I can't remember what his name was or anything, but essentially he was what, 4 or 5 weeks in prep, 0 carb, I don't know how many fats, just X amount of protein.
0 carb, 0 fat, 500 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I genuinely think that this didn't even start off as a prep. Like, honestly, it was intention. I think it was meant to be a rapid fat loss.
Yeah, little aggressive thing.
Anyway,
but
enable the screen sharing.
Excuse me.
Oh, disgusting.
Sorry.
Also, we got to try and put this one on Spotify, man. I've had quite a few people ask.
Can you do it?
I even tried Googling it the other day myself, and someone offered the link, and I couldn't find it. So
yeah, dude, I think you just got to get the MP3 and
even if Joe, I'll have a look on, see if I can put it up.
There we go.
Got it.
Yeah, buddy. So the classic goes. He's a lovely fella, an absolute gentleman. I will sometimes talk to the owner. It'll be like little back and forth, man, but nothing ever too serious. But very nice guy. His posing is fucking ace. But yeah, that was him today. I think that's a very good picture. He doesn't look as crispy. Yeah, he doesn't look as crispy as what he's looking here.
I do remember reading that this show he's got. I think it's a
yeah. So what is that pro fat today?
Yeah,
I said pro show, but
I mean, it's his first. Like, it's almost just like an introduction. You can still tell he's not like as lean as what he could be and what he will be, but for like his first show, and considering that he's going to be ramping things up, like he's
my point. I said to Tom, why does his right delt look fucking
yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
He's just been jabbing in one delt for the last 3 years.
Mediform.
I noticed that.
My thing to Tom, I said, but surely you lose a shit ton of size through that. Yeah. Just because of how harsh you're dropping.
But even like strength, your training must be absolutely
yeah,
wank
that's why your size was inevitable.
Yeah, of course, but it's just like that's going to have a knock-on effect for the next like year to 2 years. Like it's not something you're just going to add some carbs in and go, oh, suddenly look, I'm back to where my logbook was. Like,
Yeah.
Can't remember what the there's an actual name of the 4 or 5 week prep that it's called that he's done. What it's called, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
They call it like a rapid fat loss phase, but it's not like a.
It's got like it sounds like a scientist name. Like he's actually
Fuck my life, I'm dying.
yeah, literally.
me and a guy that we used to train with, we used to call it Kenyan of. Kenyan of. Because he would literally
to my Kenyans.
he would jump on a sunbed for like 12 minutes a day because he's going on holiday, and he'd cut all his food out and he'd do like 60 minutes of cardio, and in like 4 weeks he'd get abs and then be like, go on, boys, see you later, and be like, see you Kenyan off, and then he'd come back like just fat as fuck again, just like ready to go.
Yeah, mate.
But yeah, Kenyan off was our equivalent of a 4 week side. So
I think a 4 week phase would be. Oh shit! Am I getting too big? Too big.
What you need to do is you need to get some heavy duty clothes. Use discount code.
Killer 10. Killer 10. Also, if you guys are looking for supplements, Impact Sup House, Killer 10.
Oh yeah,
Billboard.
That's big. That's big as well, man.
Yeah, man. I'm happy. I'm buzzing with it,
Little
man.
pro sponsor, little supplement sponsor.
Yeah, man. Things are moving forward, man. If anyone wants to sponsor my meat and veg,
I imagine.
be more than happy.
Manscaped.
Yeah, no, Manscaped. Yeah, no, I'm a good ambassador. You should see my pubes.
I don't know why. I feel like even if someone ever did approach me for meal prep, I'd still, I don't know, something about me, I'll just have to be.
I quite like the idea of like I don't know who it is that works with them, but they do like prepped meal, like prepped chicken, and they do the meats. So yeah. I think that would be fantastic because it's all like marinated.
Oh, is it my meat? My meat?
Yeah, muscle meat.
Tell us more about your meat.
Muscle meat.
I know.
What website's that?
My muscly meat.
yeah, tell me, just Google that quickly. MyMusclyMeat.com.
My muscly meat.
Yeah, don't screen share that one. Doesn't pro coach Callum Rice, hasn't he just signed up with someone who literally just does like meats or something as well?
Yeah, it's like Premier Meal Prepper. I don't know.
Something like that.
I think that would be quite good because then I know exactly what you mean. Like for us, being over 20 grams of rice is a lot on a prep setting, or just really in general, particularly across a few meals. And if someone's like fucking not giving two shits, like it is way too high risk, I think.
Like in an off season, it would be decent because you can just pick it up and go. But the problem is you're eating such high quantities in off season. It's just like it then becomes so expensive. So again, unless someone's paying for like 8 meals of fucking pre-cooked chicken and rice, it's like get fucked.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Can you imagine because usually the highest my food was in the off season, I was having like 200 grams of raw rice per meal.
200.
Yeah, 200.
How many of them do you have a day?
Jasmine rice.
No, basmati.
I hate jasmine rice.
Yeah, I haven't had jasmine rice in a while. So I was having my first meal was 200 grams of cream of rice, 15 grams and 20 grams of nut butter, 20 grams of almond butter, 45 gram whey. Then it was 200 rice or pasta, 200 rice or pasta, just chicken with those ones. Pre-workout was 150 core, 3 square bars, and then obviously the fats like 15 in terms of dark chocolate and almond butter. Post workout was 200 grams plus 3 squares, so it was big.
So you're having 6 squares bars around workout with 350 grams of
yeah, and then that's only 5 meals. So then I had another head. I had what was I think it was like 175 gram of oats.
That's fucking high volume.
And 30 grams of almond butter. So yeah, it's a lot. And now I'm on like
barely any food. I know. It's light work for you, man. But I'm still like not hungry, mate. Like,
Yeah.
you can still not eat. I'm 3 weeks into this.
To be fair, my first off season, like heavily pushing food, I got to the point where I was just at like reduced all my fucking carb intake from rice and pasta and just changed it to pretty much fucking sweet chili sauce. Like I could not fucking touch food.
What?
Yeah, so I
So
like
you would count the macros from your sauce.
so well yeah so you know how heavy sweet chili sauce is in fucking
Yeah.
pure sugar. So
Yeah.
I'd take out like, for example, like 50 grams of carbs
Oh,
and just smother my food in sweet chili sauce. It's not fucking ideal at all, but when I was eating like 900 grams of carbs a day,
yeah, buddy.
it was like, all right, that shit's
Yeah, no,
that
like,
shit's
I
good.
know, like, what about the sweet rage sauce or whatever, sweet Buddha rage sauce.
Mate, that's where the concoction of a fucking squares bar bagel came into it, of just 2 squares bars in the middle of a bagel and microwave for 30 seconds.
Oh, that sounds nice, actually.
Mate, it bangs if you're heavy in an off season. Any other time of the
I
year,
would
it
always
tastes
just
like
get
ass.
the nut butter from and put it on my square bars, and that would go down really nice.
With jam on top and just
Oh
make
yes,
sure.
yeah, man. I actually forget my berries. And I'd have 100 grams of berries with pretty much my first meal, my pre-workout, my post-workout, 200 my post-workout, and 100 my final meal.
If anyone says cream of rice, I just assume there's berries in there somewhere. It's
Yeah,
just
I know.
like there's always berries somewhere.
On prep, cream of rice is like my primary carb source, man. Like every meal I'd have cream of rice.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just like I basically like would make this like fucking fish stew. What? It's fucking horrible, dude. I'd make like this like pho, like fish pho. So what I'd do is I'd like boil water. I'd put all my veggies in it. It's fucking gross, bro. Boil water. Put my fish in it. I'd like let it simmer. I put loads of herbs and spices in it. And then yeah, I'd have like a soup. So I'd have that and then I'd have a soup.
You're the only person I know who on prep optionally decided to eat fucking soup.
Yeah, man.
What?
I was like big for soup and I was big for tea. I love like, so Yorkshire tea do this like jam biscuit tea.
Jam biscuit. Yeah, that was me as well.
I was fucking smashing that, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Is that the weirdest thing you started to get a craving for? Was like
No.
fish soup? What was the weirdest
It
thing?
wasn't
you got
that.
cravings
It's like
for?
it's just like
Well, not cravings, but like what was your weird like?
Mine
pleasure?
was towards the latter stages was so I used to have with my egg whites, I used to put some flavor drops sometimes. If I won't have them with veg, I'd have them with vanilla flavor drops, something like that.
Yeah.
And I got to a stage where I was like so ravenous, yeah, I would get ice and water, vanilla drops in it and blend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird as fuck when I think about it. That was it.
I thought you were going to go for the sweet egg white option.
Me?
Yeah,
No, I did.
yeah, but when you before you said the ice and
Oh, what you think?
blended,
Sweet egg whites is weird.
because well, I started doing it as well. I saw it and then I did it as well, and they were fucking incredible.
Really nice.
A bit weird, yeah, probably weird when you tell anyone else that, but
Yeah.
unless you've tried it, then yes.
Yeah, egg whites, sweet cinnamon, some flavor drops in there, and that was literally all I had to my first
Yeah,
meal.
man. I can't remember what I did.
A weird one which I saw was savory oats, which always gave me the fucking weird,
What
like,
the
really
fuck?
creeped me out.
You
So
can,
it's-
Who's having
buy
that?
savory
Whoever's
oats,
having
that's
that is
weird.
like a fucking paedophile. Like what? the-
Honestly, it was oats. What did they put with it? Oats, mushrooms, onions, and then would have like
Onions in your own.
yeah, it was savory oats.
Bro,
Fucking
That's like
bizarre.
something that makes
I
you
am
not feel, man.
offended. I am actually offended.
Yeah, it creeped me out. I was just like, you carry on doing whatever you got to do. I'm just gonna look the other way.
Who was this person? Adam.
You know how
No,
you know,
no,
you
no.
know how you have like Italians get upset when people put like pineapple on pizza. I get pissed off when people do that to Scotch oats, man. I'm like, why are you doing this, man? I mean, I'm like, I don't get that. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was weird. It was just just look the other way and just don't vomit.
Was that a boy or a girl?
It was a girl.
Oh, says it all.
Stay well clear, lads.
Yeah.
A massive red flag. And your missus is making savoury oats. Honestly, guaranteed psychopath. I really hope it's not who I think it could be. And you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh no, not that, no.
Okay.
Not that.
No.
That is a woman, Joe.
She has feelings.
Yeah.
The only person I think that you're talking about, no, it's not her.
Come on.
But to be fair,
Well,
you two also have been with girls whilst on, well, actually, no. Billy, your missus hasn't prepped, has she?
No.
Did I see it? For some reason, I have in my head that she's going to or wants to, or am I completely
fuck
fucking
that.
wrong?
No, that's not her thing, mate.
Okay, no, it's fine. But yeah, your missus has, hasn't she?
She's man.
Diet.
Joe hands it so much better than me. Sorry, Billy, what?
No, I said best dieting for holiday, but that's it.
Oh, that's probably what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe does, but she handles it like way better than me, man.
So she's not making fucking fish pho.
Nah, man, she's like, honestly, man, she's like so impressed on prep. I'm like, oh, my fucking head, oh. And she's just like a total warrior, man. She was like working like fuck, and I'm just like all over the place, like thinking the world's against me pretty much.
She didn't have glutes like you, though.
Yeah.
Oh man, like honestly, it's being a dickhead at moments. Like she said something to me, she's made me digs afterwards, and that's always my response. I was like, yeah, but you weren't fucking peeled. Like you weren't fucking. You don't know how it feels.
You just be like, look, sorry, babe,
Yeah.
sorry, and then just
Walking
walk
about.
through it with a sword.
Yeah, doing his meal prep.
Yeah, but honestly, no, she hands it a lot better than me, man. I think that like every like time I diet down, I get better at it and handle it better, and I'm more aware of how I come across. Like I am very much so like if I'm in the gym and I'm like 10 weeks out, I usually start to feel a little bit shit then. It's like blinkers on. I was like, I don't plan on having discussions, conversations. I'm there for me. Okay.
I've got a good question for you guys. Karen.
Yeah, like I am just like, even like out with that, like I become very selfish, and it's not a person I always am, but on prep it's like I just gotta get it done, man. You know, it's just like you gotta bite your teeth and just fucking endure. And yeah. I've still got a diary, mate. I find that was probably the only respite I got, man.
Really?
And it helped me be reflective of how I was. I encourage anyone to get a diary because it's nice to look back on it.
My question wasn't a question I got from anyone, but it's a question I'm going to ask you too. What was your lowest point, if you had one, of prep? I'll go first. From you saying about you being in the gym there, Taylor, about 10 weeks out. Mine was 4 weeks out. Mm-hmm. And I remember walking in the gym. This was 4 weeks out. It was probably bang on. It was 27th of August because I remember posting on Instagram and I just checked. And I walked in and I stood there and I walked up to the incline chest press. Gym was empty. And I just started bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I just started crying.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you can tell you're telling yourself get a fucking grip, but like
you can't.
Things weird.
I remember I texted my old man and was like, I'm just standing there breaking down in the gym. I went and stood at the front and sat down for a minute. I was like, I'm bawling my eyes out right now. Then yeah, he sent back a massive message and then I went and had a fucking wicked session, but was weak as fuck. So yeah, that was my low point, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I think you'll probably have a good one. I can imagine Joe said you were like in the serious fucking.
Joe was delusional for.
Yeah, so
in the actual trenches, like
I didn't have like.
It was the low point.
Yeah, prep in general, the whole thing was the low point. There was no ups; it was all down.
Okay.
Like as a low point, like it wasn't the whole like shit point in fucking Morrison's where you can't walk or like all that fucking shit.
I mean, what was?
I mean, like
point of prep,
yeah.
like
yeah, like for me, that was probably when I know we were joking about it before about taking time off work, but there was a genuine point about 2 or 3 weeks out where I remember like talking to my dad at the start of work, being like, I can't get out of the car, not necessarily because I can't work, but because like
You're just not there.
I'm not there. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting myself through this? Like, I physically remember telling him, saying, I don't think I'm even good enough to do this. Like, I don't think I'm going to make it to stage. I feel like I'm going to fuck up. I feel like I'm going to mess up. Like, I'm just not good enough.
Fucking mental. I think everyone thinks that at some point though, man.
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to that.
Like, it was crazy for how in that moment it was so, like, you were dead certain on, this isn't possible. Like, I cannot do this anymore. And then like a day later, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go do 10,000 steps and do a bit of cardio. Yeah, perfectly fine. Yeah, la 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 la. Carry on like nothing's ever happened. But at that minute, you're just so fucking over it.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
There's no other feeling like it, I'd say.
When was yours?
I probably had, I don't know. I think I had a couple throughout. Not like, so there's two that I can remember. The first one is when I was getting a deep tissue massage, mate, and I just like, don't know what it was, man, but I don't know if it's because I was like relaxed. But I remember just fucking bawling my eyes out, man. My fucking woman's doing my massage. I was like, honestly, I'm fine. I just don't know. It's really hard. I'm fine. And I was. The thing is, like, I'm not embarrassed. It's just like I fucking suffered like no motherfucker, man. Like I started off. You guys have all seen where I started. Like, took 25 kilos off, man. Like, was fucking so fat. I didn't think I would ever look as good as what I did, but like I could always see light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, if you keep doing this, things will click in. And I did have that self-belief, and even at like the lowest points, I still knew that I could still get shit done. I was almost like my like something was set on it, right? It's like I was so set on it, but like I would always say, there's always something back in my head saying, oh, but it's just so hard, and like, but it's like I'd always have a conflict. There's something always going back and forth. It's like, stop being a fucking bitch, but it's still just really hard. And then a few minutes after, I'd kind of be able to switch out of it, and I'd be like, okay, I still feel like shit, but X amount of time left, you know. But I think that was one, and then I probably had a conversation with Joe like a week, 1 to 2 weeks out. And like, I was like, dude, I don't know if I can fucking do this, man. I was like, I don't know what it was, because do you know what? I never felt inadequate. I knew I wasn't going to be the biggest. I wasn't sure how my condition was because my mind was just a little bit fucked. I was just trusting two of my mates. I was trusting Kuba and I was trusting Mikey. I'd get little snippets, but I was always covered up. I would never look at myself because that would just lead to, you know, this and that and that. But I remember, I don't know what it was, man. I was just super low, mate, just so low. And whatever I do, try and pull myself out, it wouldn't help. Wouldn't help. But I just pretty much just like broke down in the toilet to Joe, thinking it's so fucking hard, I can't do it. And then she's like, oh, maybe this isn't for you, you know. But like, I knew that I still wanted to keep going. I was still going to crack on. And I wouldn't have done it, and I wouldn't have kept pushing if I knew I didn't want to do it. You know, I think that like everyone's first prep is always going to be their hardest prep, unless you're Leon Pearson. You know, but for me, that was like really eye-opening because, like I said, as soon as I got everything done and wasn't that peak week, man. Peak week was a fucking blast for me, man. I felt amazing going to the show, mate. I felt so good. I felt really happy. At that point, I was like, I've done what I've done. I was like, I'm looking all right. But that week, man, I don't know what it was, but that week I just lost like fucking 5 kilos. Like, obviously just started hardening up, started playing out with drugs a little bit, and I hold water like a motherfucker. Really bad for it, man. And just started pulling things out and just started freshening up. And by the end of it, you know, I didn't really have the start of the week. I could just see my glutes, but by the end of it, man, they were just like coming through, and it was just really, really nice. Hamstrings were nice and cut deep, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. So I had no idea how it was going to be, man. And even when I went to the show as well, it's, you know, you boys and everyone was like tanning up. For some reason, there was no self-doubt. Like, I was it was strange, man, because usually I've always been the first person. The only time I was doubtful is when I was pumping up with you, Billy, and I was like, he's fucking gonna smoke me, man.
That was a fucking very low point. That was for everyone backstage, I think.
Yeah, no, and then this cunt Joe is just like, oh man, Billy's got this. And I thought to myself, I was like, let's go, motherfucker. So
How
you,
much, how much sweeter was the win then, mate? Come on.
mate, it was. Do you know what, mate? It was between you and me, and it was a fucking pleasure, man. It was. I think it would have been close if you didn't spill a little bit. I think you would have beat me. I think if you came in, we were looking 2 weeks out, you'd have beat me, mate. That's being totally honest with you. So you know, fuck.
I'm like that right now. You can't see my fist, but
that Arthur meme.
Dude, you know what? You'll be thinking that next prep, I'm not gonna let that shit happen again. And I'm gonna be thinking that next prep, I'm not gonna let that motherfucker prove he can beat me. So it's
I hand on my heart, right? I got what I wanted.
yeah, man. I wasn't that fucked.
I didn't even think I realised that there was an overall in the competition. Like until I was there, I thought I've just got my class and that's it. I go. So like I said when we done the last podcast, anything past that was just a fucking bonus, man. So
I it made me laugh when you.
I am still pissed off, but go on.
Mate, you're gonna. I can't wait to see you two fucking compete. Like literally,
you'll be backstage.
I
think we'll be standing next to each other. Really, we won't be on the same class, will we?
Yeah, we'll do heavy. Oh yeah, if we do PCA, then yeah. But I mean that'll be good though, because then we can go again for the overall, man.
Mate, either way, I want to see you two backstage.
I don't know, man. We'll wait and see. I might do.
They're doing well, so there's no reason why you can't. But
yeah.
Anyway,
to test the water before you jump into two bros at least. Anyway.
Yeah, man.
Just pop in and out kind of thing. But yeah, like you were saying about not knowing there was no rule, I actually was so set on me not getting to the overall that I actually had planned to leave the show by like midday. So because I knew my category was on at like 10, 11 o'clock, I had planned to be back home at like 2 or 3. So my mates were coming over to my house at like 2 or 3 o'clock. And I had to message them and be like, so guys, might not be back. And they're like, yeah, we've seen the live stream. Don't worry. We'll like see you at another time or something like that.
Yeah, man.
What did you guys eat?
How many people have in your class, Tay?
Like 6, 7.
I think mine was about that.
I don't remember anyone in your class.
Yeah.
Just firing shots. I don't remember anyone. I basically.
No, I do remember them. There was one boy that was close, but it would have been good to have more fierce competition. But we'll get that.
It'll be interesting to see, like, going into the next couple of years.
And like I didn't really have any expectations going into this one. Like I knew I wanted to place, and I'll likely want to place next time, but I'm not going to go and expecting a win. I'm gonna work my arse off for one, and I'm gonna fucking hope for the best and do everything I can be and be better than last time. But you know, I'm at a higher standard now, and I know that I'm gonna compete with the big dogs. And when things are getting real and I'm at that upper amateur level and I'm ready to take that leap, then I'll be in a position to do so. But I got to earn my stripes first. You know, what did you guys eat post show?
Everything.
I can remember. What did you? I don't even want to ask Joe, man, because he's the fucking cunt out of it.
He didn't eat his post show. He ate his intra show.
Intro show.
Yeah, I know. He fucking did.
Post show didn't actually eat that much. Because I still felt so sick from what I ate before the rules. I got in my car and I started driving home. But the problem was I had a load of Pop-Tarts in the car. Oh. So I think I ate like 8 or 9 Pop-Tarts whilst I was driving home. But the problem was it was then getting like quite late, wasn't it? It was
like
man. 12, 1 o'clock, something like that by the time I was in the car. Like by the time I was driving, and I started falling asleep. So I actually pulled into like a mall somewhere and slept in the car park on the way home. So I fell asleep in the car park and had to pay like £15 to sleep for like 4 hours. And then I woke up and carried on driving home because I was like, fuck it, I've had a little bit of rest, I'll get home. So I then carried on eating Pop-Tarts. And then I drove past McDonald's and I thought, God, I really want a water, but I might as well just get like a Big Mac and nuggets while I was done. So I had Big Mac and nuggets whilst I was driving home. On top of the Five Guys brownies and other cookies.
What did you have to play?
So when I was in like the wee kind of like backstage bit, man, one of my mates knew one of the girls and she had this like cookie slab thing. So I had a little bit of that, just like a wee morsel one of my clients, Mrs. baked me chocolate orange brownies. I love anything chocolate orange. Chocolate orange is like my jam.
You need to try the chocolate orange perform.
I got it, man. I liked it, but I think the Train by JP one was nicer, man.
I've not had it.
It's more like a Terry chocolate orange, whereas the Perform one is a bit less, like it's a bit more milky and less sweet. I'd say.
A bit creamy.
Yeah, man. They're both nice, so I'd still have the two of them. Anyway, so I had a little bit of that, had some brownies. Oh, that's it. So had some brownies after. Mikey and I went to Five Guys, where I got a burger, fries, and a milkshake. I don't think I got a hot dog. I can't remember. Dairy fucks my tummy. I shouldn't have had a milkshake. So pretty much I didn't even finish everything. I smashed the burger, but I left quite a lot of chips. I'm pretty sure I took the chips in a bag with me and then put them in a Tupperware to save. Then we drove to Manchester. Yeah, Manchester from where we were. Because Mikey's girlfriend was there and he stayed with her. Then when we got back, it was maybe like 11, half 11, I ordered a pizza. Ordered a pizza and then I ordered ice cream for another place. And then I ate that, and then pretty much I had a nippy bumhole for about 48 hours after that. Walking about the Trafford Centre, basically pissing water out my arse. My asshole was red raw. I was pretty much like fingering my arsehole with like Sudocreme.
It was. You should have just fucking cut the middleman out and just put the ice cream straight up your ass, mate.
Yeah, mate. Yep. But yeah, and then after that, I kind of chilled out a little bit. Like I had little bits here and there, but I was feeling switched on. I was like, I want to get back on fucking plan.
Because that was what I was going to say. From what I remember, you were very like you had like 4 or 5 meals off within like the month post show, and that was about it. Yeah. Where I think I like. I don't know about you. Well, obviously you didn't. I don't know about Bill, but I like really struggled post show. Like I was like post show was really bad to the point of I remember there was one day where I was crying in my kitchen over a bowl of cream of rice because I wanted more, and I was like, I can't have more, but I could eat more because I have no reason why I can't eat more. And you have that like loss of goal, don't you? And you're just it's fucking mad.
What I would do is like, if I wanted something, I would just have it. I just have a little bit of it. Instead of having, say, like a full portion, I just have a little bit of it. And I would just factor in. Veg, I would literally go mental with veg. Instead of having like 100 grams, having like 200, 250, 300 grams if I could. Just fill myself up with veg.
See, that was my problem. I just wouldn't. Yeah. That would not fill me up.
Then for me, every 3 days, I probably would have an off-plan meal. So I might have seemed like I was only having like once every few weeks, but like the reality was I was having like every 3 weeks, but every few days for the first 2 weeks. Yeah. And then that was like my system. But bearing in mind that on those days, I would pretty much only have 3 meals, just to take everything into account. And I wouldn't take the piss because I knew that if I fucked up just now, I'd be fucked in the back end.
Yeah.
Because I essentially, post show, I took a week off where I just said like, I can't, like, I was at the point where I was like, if I go back on plan now, I won't compete anymore. Like I'll be done. Like I was like, I'm taking a week off.
Yeah.
And within like the 5th day, I was like, okay, I need to get back on plan now. Like I can't live without structure anymore. Mm. So I got back on plan anyway. But those 5 days off, I got pretty much most of that out of my system. It was then just that like that bit in your head that's like, you're doing it for a reason. Like because that was gone, it was very hard for me to be like, well, you can't order that burger. It's like, well, I can now order that burger, so why not just order the burger? I didn't, but it was very difficult mentally to have that.
Dude, you got to have a fucking goal straight away, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you got to know exactly where you're fucking going. So I knew that as soon as that was done, I was going to try to go for the Arnold's in 2022. And that shit was scary. I was like, fuck, man, these boys are going to smoke me if I don't do this.
Fucking big show now as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Have you boys got any more questions or anything you want to go through?
No. Well, I mean, we didn't get Billy's response. We can get Billy's response and then
what was that? What for?
About the foods.
Oh, I was just looking on. I was trying to look through my story. That's why I was on my phone. But I sent it to our group chat so you can pull that up. But my Five Guys post show, Beth had me like these brownies and bougie brownies and cookies.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But my Five Guys order was ridiculous, mate.
4 burgers, 2 large fries.
No, you didn't.
Well, I tried. I really did. I ate the hot dog. Mate, who the fuck? Yeah. If you get a hot dog from Five Guys, you're a nonce. I'll leave
Mate,
that there.
they're good, mate.
I've never had one.
They're not at all, man.
Good.
Nah, they're dead. I had a double bacon cheeseburger, a mini cheeseburger, a hot dog, large fries, a Lotus Biscoff milkshake, and a diet drink there. And I got through probably about half the fries, the double bacon cheeseburger, the hot dog. And then literally about 50 seconds after I said my goodbyes to you, Tay, I was walking back through it was like a fucking
Train station, you bet.
yeah, through the shopping centre bit, train station, sorry, yeah. I swear I said it to you boys before, didn't I? And I said to
No.
Beth, I was like, I thought I'd already told you. I said to Beth, I was like, I'm going to shit myself. I'm going to shit my pants. Right? And I hate, if there's one thing I hate, it's using public toilets, like sitting down on a dirty toilet. I hate it. I swear I've had this conversation. I'm not saying in the last podcast, though. So anyway, I've gone into the train station toilets looking like an absolute mess, yeah, because I've got my hoodie on that's covered in tan,
Yeah.
my boxers, I'm in my slides, I've got tan still on, look absolutely fucked. I've gone into the toilet, there's a massive queue to go into the shitter. So I'm sitting there, like, honestly, like, I'm going to shit my pants. And then obviously I've got in and I've pulled my trousers down. I'm just looking at myself. I've still got my trunks on and I'm thinking, this is an all-time low, man. This is a real low. Beth's text me like, are you all right, with loads of laughing faces? And she was like, I bet you regret eating like that now. And I was like, please, like, stop texting me. I'm in pain right now. It was fucking hard because I basically had to walk back from the train station, back up to past the venue, Birmingham Town Hall, and then it was about 15 minutes walk past that, and I was absolutely fucked, man. My stomach was fucked. Like,
I just love the fact that literally post show, I was asleep in a car park. Billy was trying to fucking shit his pants, and Taylor was regretting all his life decisions. The glories of fucking showdown, that is right there. Literally all got medals, all walking home happy, but no, asleep in a car park, shitting in a public toilet, and nipping his asshole like there's no tomorrow.
So happy, man. So
Listen, we all thought we was gonna fucking handle everything like a pro, prep like a pro, post show like a pro.
It works out of that, eh?
And it's not a reality. You know
Takes
what I mean?
time. Takes time in this game, man.
Massively, man. Yeah, and their lessons learned for next time for sure. But yeah,
Sweet.
thing.
Well,
It's been a good one, boys.
I was just saying, it's a hell of a good way to end it by the sounds of that, with Billy's little emotional. So say goodbye, boys. Say goodbye.
Like, subscribe, and share, shaggers.
Oh,
Peace.
hit the buttons.
Here's my mark.